Hi everyone, good morning. I'm here waiting for my son while he's at a sports rehearsal, sort of practice for the sports day, which is on this weekend. So I thought I'll put out another video for this week. And what I want to talk about is my sort of relationship with the health industry. Now, the health industry, I'm talking about the pharmaceutical industry. So the medical centers, the hospitals, clinics, all from a allopathic point of view. Now, also some of you might add the acupressure, the acupuncture, the homeopathy, right? Ayurveda as part of it, but my context is only the allopathic side. So I just want to share my experience with them. And as before I go forward, I want to say I'm not a qualified doctor, a medical practitioner, nothing like that, right? So take this as a caveat. I'm just sharing with you my life experiences with this industry, because this is something which I held very important in terms of how I should have a relationship with them. So I'll start with a small incident in my life. So I think about 20 years back, on my first trip to the UK on business, I was going from one place to another, right? And I took metro, which they call a tube there, and I found it very nice, efficient particularly at that time when many parts of the other parts of the world do not have it. And as I was sitting in the tube in a train, and it was taking about 45 minutes to reach where I wanted to go, and I just looked up, and there was a running sort of ad, on a screen, and I was really amazed to see 90% of it for the 45 minutes was only from the allopathic pharmaceutical industry. Of course, there were some hospitals and all there, but mostly about the it was marketing the allopathic products. Now, I would like to say I'm not writing off the health industry in terms of the pharmaceutical industry or the allopathic part of it completely. There are times you do require it. For example, you meet an accident, you have a heart attack, a diabetes issue because of lifestyle, then you have to go for immediate treatment to the allopathic places, right? And it is important, right? A viral attack from nowhere. So it's not that you'll wait and you say, okay, let me avoid it because it could get worse. And there are cases that has happened. What I'm trying to say is that based on my experience, I'm 52 years old now, is that how I made a decision not to completely engage with it and as much as possible keep it at bay or avoid it. Okay. Use it judicially. That's what I'm trying to say. And also I'm doing it now more for my kids. So what there were a lot of trials I did, right? Yes and no, if and buts. So it was a process. But as I stand today, I'm convinced of certain things which can help me manage my health better, right? Again, by not too much of dependence on the allopathic industry, pharmaceutical industry. So the first thing I would advise, and this is my advice, again, I'm not a medically qualified person. It's just how I'm living my life today. If you find it helpful, please use, of course, but please verify it with your professional or yourself, whichever authentic sources you can. So I believe the first thing you should do, and this I think is common knowledge, but sometimes common knowledge is not very commonly used. So first thing focusing on is my general well-being in terms of my food habits. In the morning, I will wake up, have my lemon, turmeric, and hot water. Uh, you know, Of course, just before that, raw garlic on empty stomach. Uh, a little after that, have my fruits, right? At least 3 fruit servings. Leave a gap. In that gap, I would go for a walk, come back. I would have my breakfast. Again, whatever I eat, as much as breakfast, lunch, or dinner, I try my best to eat it at home. Of course, there are times I would go out for an occasion, a social function. If I'm traveling, yes, I do that. But what my thing is, as much as possible, I would reduce that, right? Eating out. Working out again, very important. As I mentioned, walking. So I'll walk in the morning and have another maybe half an hour session of weights or cycling in the evening, right? So all this said and done, including, of course, there are a lot of things here. And as I remember, I'm telling you, having a cold water shower really helps me in the morning. With my coffee, I'll have my chia seeds, flax seeds, the cinnamon. Avoid milk. I practically don't have milk with the exception of yogurt and at times ice cream. Okay, got a weakness for that, but it is reduced as much as possible. Alcohol, I know there's a lot of things out there. Alcohol is good, alcohol is not, and I'm not debating it, I'm not even promoting it. I'm just saying what I do, right? And maybe this might help. So I have a fixed sort of discipline on alcohol. So on a weekend, maybe 1 or 2 pegs, maybe beer on a Sunday. Sometimes at social functions, not more than 2 pegs, right? Two servings, and it is not in a more social thing, right? So if you find it helpful, do it. If not, if you want to avoid, that's also, I think, better, if the studies are right. So what I'm saying is everything done in moderation, and things, eating and this kind of things. And I feel that has kept me more healthier. I can't remember the last time I went to a doctor, with the exception of when I did my 50-year medical test, and they showed slightly not very high, just borderline cholesterol, which I went to a doctor, and that also went away with my reduction of weight by about 6 to 7 kilos. So weight reduction is a sort of a silver bullet if you want to be really healthy. Now, so I'm pretty comfortable with the way I'm having my relationship with the health industry, particularly allopathic industry. Now I'm making a point to now have the same sort of relationship with my kids. So with kids, you normally tend to panic a little more because they're young and you don't know, you don't take a chance. But even there, I try to use it, in a careful way. Even a vaccine, sometimes I have given a vaccine, and it's still debatable, but I try to reduce if it's really not required, and do my own research, and consult with people. Some facts, incidents have actually shaped my views. So, for example, even in COVID time, right? COVID was a pretty scary time, and the vaccines were left, right, and center. So many vaccines, and I'm not saying we should take or we should not. That's not the point. We got to be careful that I don't give the wrong advice or promote the wrong things. What I'm trying to say is that as I travel around the world pre-COVID, I noticed a lot of things from a lot of countries. Some are very advanced in their hygiene, in their medical facilities, their pharmaceutical industries. There was a tablet for everything, and they were really graded high on healthcare. Strangely, these countries, and I'm talking about Israel, I'm talking about Italy, I'm talking about some of the Western countries, had highest rate of COVID infections as per capita, or not per capita, as a ratio of the population, compared to India. India is not to the standards, and the neighboring, not only India, even Pakistan or Bangladesh, they are not to the standards of the Western country. Yet their infections per sample of population were much less than the West, and it's there has to be a reason, right? So there has to be some plus points in these countries. And one thing I realize is our dependence of pharmaceutical is there. It's there, but not so much as it is in the West, right? That's number one. The second thing is that I think in these country we give because we give a chance to us to our bodies, because that's maybe the environment, to fight normal infections, whether it's children playing in the mud, or maybe I'm trying to be careful here because I don't go the wrong way. The hygiene levels are not great, so our body gets a chance to adapt our immunity. Now, saying that, I still prefer high hygiene levels to be great, and I think even in the West, with the high hygiene standards that they have, even there, if they reduce the dependency on allopathic things, it could serve them better. For example, if you're just getting a cold or something, a temperature, you don't immediately go pop a pill or take some medicine. Or give your body a chance to fight it. Fever is there, is necessary to a point. So give it a body to get that fever out and address that issue. Otherwise, if you take a medicine too early than required, you're not giving your body a chance to fight, and you become dependent on medication, if you know what I mean. So you need to balance it and judge for yourself. So even taking the Western country, if they give a chance for the bodies to fight, I think they can be much stronger in terms of health. There are cases where if they are sick and there are alternative ways which you believe work. For example, I believe homeopathy works. That's my belief, although it might be a bit slow. And go for that rather than taking the allopathic option if you can. Ayurveda is another option. Some people also cure by yoga. So look at other less impactful on your health options. There are many cases where you might not be able to, for example, you're going to meeting, going to travel, and for emergency you might need to do it. That's fine because it's critical at that point. But as far as possible, I think you have the option to stay a little away from it. But basically, taking care of health first. Prevention is better than cure. As I mentioned, in terms of food, your work, your way you handle your stress, your stress and how you handle your workouts. Your vegetables, your fruits, the basics. It's all there. It's not something I'm just saying for the first time. It helps a long way in you avoiding to go for these to fall ill and go for the medication in the first place. Now, I boast a lot here in my family that I'm the only one who practically doesn't go to a doctor, right? I rarely get sick. Now, I'm not saying you should not go to a doctor if it's necessary. Please don't get it the wrong way. If it's really necessary, you please go to a doctor. Don't stay on a high horse and say, no, I will never go to a doctor. And there are cases that people have not gone to a doctor in case of severe things, and they have it has been really bad for them. So you do go when it's really bad. I'm just saying, give your body the fighting chance, right? And you will find out your visits to doctor are much less. Do your regular checkups just to be on the safe side. But you can be more healthier because your body actually is a wonderful machine which is capable of fighting all these things, right? Same thing as I'm getting my kids in their relationship with the health industry. Okay. And now, as I said, I'm just sharing my experiences. There's so many things I will not be able to put in this video for the lack of time. This is about 13 to 15 minutes video. If you want to ask me more questions, please reach out, comment, right? I will free to advise you based on what I do, right? And if I say anything, I recommend that you go and verify it with a professional, verify it through authentic sources before you proceed. Hopefully this will help you. And if you find this helpful, please do like it, this video, do subscribe to my channel, do share it with others who you think might need it, right? And until next week, thank you for listening and all the best. Bye bye.